What happens when the ultimate tough guy legend walks straight into a lion's den of loudmouth TV hosts who think they're untouchable? Clint Eastwood versus Joy Behar live on national television. And it gets brutal. Buckle up. Because this isn't just an interview, it's a massacre, and you're about to witness every single second of the chaos, the takedowns, the gasps, and the moment Joy Behar's career nearly exploded in front of millions you want. Believe what Clint says next. The studio lights blazed down like 1,000 suns. The audience was already buzzing electric with anticipation. You could feel the energy in the air, thick, heavy, like the calm before a thunderstorm. Then the moment everyone had been waiting for, Whoopi Goldberg stood tall at the center of the iconic The View table, her voice booming with that signature warmth. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one, the only, the legend, Clint Eastwood. The crowd erupted. Applause thundered through the studio like a freight train. Men stood, women screamed, phones shot up in the air. This wasn't just a guest appearance. This was history. Clint Eastwood, 94 years young, still built like a brick wall, eyes sharp as a hawk's, walked out slow and deliberate, no rush, no smile. Just that squint, the one that made outlaws with their pants and the good, the bad, and the ugly. He wore a simple black blazer, dark jeans, and boots that had walked 1,000 sets of hands, whether strong the hands of man who had directed masterpieces, and stared down death, rested calmly on an armrest. As he sat, "Thank you for having me," he growled, voice like gravel, soaked in whiskey. The audience swooned. Whoopi beamed. "Clint, tell us about your new film. What pulled you into this story?" Clint leaned forward. "Just an inch. It's about second chances. Redemption, the idea that even when the world writes you off, maybe, just maybe, you get one more shot." Sarah Haynes jumped in, eyes wide with, "Oh, that's beautiful. How do you pick your stories now at this stage of your legendary career?" Clint didn't blink. "Truth. I look for truth. Hollywood's drowning in fantasy. I want stories that hit you in the gut, that say something real about being human." The crowd nodded, phones lowered. People were listening for 10 glorious minutes. It was magic. Clint talked directing, he talked actors, he talked about the first time he held a camera, the smell of the cutting room, the silence on set when a scene just works. The audience was spellbound. But then Joy Behar leaned forward. She had been quiet, too quiet. Her lips curled into a smirk that said, "I've been waiting." Her eyes glinted with mischief, no malice. "Clint," she purred, voice dripping with fake sugar, "can I ask you something personal?" The air changed. You'd feel it like the temperature dropped 10 degrees. Whoopi's eyes flicked to Joya. Warning, Sarah froze. Sunny Hostins. Coffee cup stopped halfway to her lips. But Joy didn't care. She smelled blood. "You talk about truth and redemption," Joy said, tilting her head like a predator. "But don't some of your past political comments kind of contradict that?" Boom, the studio went dead silent. You could hear a pin drop on carpet. Clint didn't flinch. He turned his head slow like a tank turret and locked eyes with Joy. "Which comments would those be?" Joy's voice was calm, too calm, the kind of calm before a storm rips the roof off. Joy smiled wider. "Oh, you know your support for certain politicians who said some pretty nasty things about women, about minorities. You really think that fits with your whole redemption message?" The audience gasped. Someone in the front row actually clutched their pearls. Whoopi tried to jump in. "Joy, maybe we," but Clint raised one finger, just one, and Whoopi stopped. He leaned back in his chair, that famous squint narrowing until it cut glass. "Young lady," he said, voice low and lethal, "I've been in this business since before you were born. I've worked with black directors, women producers, gay writers, Jewish studio heads, Mexican crew, every damn color, creed, and persuasion under the sun. And I judge them by one thing: character, not their party, not their politics, character." Joy smiled. "Twitch, young lady, excuse me, but I have every right to ask tough questions." Clint didn't blink. "And I have every right not to answer gotcha garbage from someone more interested in a viral clip than a conversation." "OH, my God," the audience lost. IT cheers, whistles. Someone yelled, "Tell her." Clint, Joy's face turned beet red. "Gotcha questions. This is journalism." Clint chuckled, a dark, dry sound that sent chills down spines. "Is that what we're calling it now? In my day, journalism meant facts. Research, not fishing for sound bites like a desperate blogger." Whoopi tried again. "Okay, let's get back to the film." But Joy was on a roll. "No, this is important. You can't just waltz in here expecting softball questions." When you made controversial statements, Clint's eyes flashed like, "What, Joy? The empty chair, you mean?" "When I use a metaphor to call out a president who lied to the American people." That unhinged. Joy smirked. "Yeah, kind of looked like you were talking to a ghost." The audience groaned. Clint leaned forward, now elbows on knees, voice dropping to that whisper that made Dirty Harry famous. "Joy, let me ask you something." She froze. "How many films have you made?" Joy blinked. "What directed, produced, starred in any?" Joy scoffed. "That's not the point. I'm a host." "How many Academy Awards?" Clint pressed relentless. "How many careers have you launched? How many young actors owe their first break to you? How many stories have you told that change a single damn life? Joy, open her mouth, close it, open it again. I entertain people every day on this show. She snapped. Clint tilted his head. Do you the way he said it, not loud. Not angry, just curious. It was worse than shouting, because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you ambush guests, twist words, and chase ratings like a dog after a bone. That your idea of entertainment. Boom again. Sarah jumped in voice, shaking. Clint, your films have touched millions. What's in the most rewarding part? But Clint wasn't done. He turned back to Joy like a sniper locking on target. The most rewarding part, working with professionals, people who earn respect, not demanded, people who don't hide behind a panel to take cheap shots. Joy stood up. Cheap shots. I'm asking legitimate questions about your politics. Clint didn't stand. He didn't need to. He just looked up at her, calm, cold, unbreakable. No, you're trying to create a moment, a clip, a headline. There's a difference between journalism and ambush. Joy, and you cross it the second you open your mouth. Joy was shaking now. I'm not ambushing anyone. This is live TV. You can't just watch me, Clint said. And he stood. The room went ice cold. He was taller than anyone expected, shoulders back. Chin high. The man who stared down Lee Van Cleef now stared down Joy Behar. And she looked tiny. I came here to talk about a film, a story about a man who made mistakes, but want to be better. And you just want to keep people stuck in their past, at your brand, now dragging people to the mud for applause. Joy's voice cracked, speaking of redemption. Don't you think some people are beyond it when they keep supporting divisive? Clint cut her off. Are we talking about my character, or you silence? Then the killer line. Because the biggest obstacle to redemption isn't the past, it's the people who won't let you grow. The audience exploded. Standing ovation, screams, tears. Joy, look around. No, back up. Whoopi was staring at the table. Sarah's mouth was open. Sunny had her head in her hands. You think you're so tough? Joy shrieked, desperate now. This is my house, my rules. Clint smiled, and it was terrify. Your house, your rules. And that's the problem. Joy, in your house, guests get ambushed. Disagreement means disrespect. Drama matters more than truth. He took one step closer. Congratulations, you built a circus, and you're the head clown. Gas from everyone. Joy lunged forward. How dare you? Clint didn't move. I dare. Because I've earned it. 60 years, 40 films, 4 Oscars, 12 nominations. I've buried friends, fought wars, built empires. And you sit at a table and yelled. Joy was purple security. Clint laughed. Security. For what hurt feelings, lady? I've been shot at in real life. You think a rent-a-cop scares me? He looked straight into the camera. Millions watching at home, folks. I came to talk about a movie instead. I gotta smear this. This is why people don't trust TV anymore. Not because of the guests, because of the host. Then the final blow. He turned to Joy, slow, deliberate. You call me has-been. Joy smirked. If the boot fits. Clint stepped closer, voice barely above a whisper. I've been called worse by better, by men who fought beside me in Korea, by directors who shape cinema, by critics who actually watch my work. But you sit there day after day tearing people down for clicks, and you call me the has-been. He shook his head. Joy, the only thing has been here is your relevance. Dead silence. Then chaos. The audience roared, phones up, screaming, chanting. Clink, clink, Clint. Joy's mouth open, closed, no words. Whoopi still were going to break. But Clint was already walking, microphone off, jacket, straight boots echoing on the studio floor like gunshots. He paused at the edge of the stage, turned back one last time. One more thing, Joy. She looked up, eyes wild, makeup running. Next time you want to play journalist, try listening. You might learn something. And with that, Clint Eastwood walked out. The door swung shut behind him. The studio was bedlam. Joy stood frozen, trembling. Whoopi stared at the floor. Sarah whispered, oh my God. The producers screamed into headsets. Cut to commercial now. But it was too late. The clip was already uploading. Clint destroys. Joy was trending in 6 minutes. By noon, it had 42 million views. By nightfall, walk off. Clint was the #1 trending topic worldwide. And Joy Behar, she didn't speak for. The rest of the show, epilogue. 24 hours later, ABC issued a statement. We apologize to Mr. Eastwood and our viewers for the unprofessional conduct. Joy Behar was suspended indefinitely. Clint's new film won at the box office. Opening weekend, $78 million. The Empty Chair from 2012 sold at auction for $12 million. Proceeds of veterans. And somewhere in a quiet ranch in California, Clint Eastwood sat on his porch, boots up, coffee in hand. A reporter asked him later, any regrets about walking out? Clint squinted at the horizon. Only one. He said, don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated. Subscribe for more powerful video.